Cooligans in the first segment. Wayne Rooney, is he going to come here and ruin the nation's capital?
Wait, more than it's already being ruined right now. In the second segment, we got Simon Doonan. Oh my God, he's a fashion icon, just like us. He wrote a book, though. He kind of usurped us a little bit there. We're going to talk to him. You might know him from, he's been on, you know, all these Fashion Runway, all these things. He's actually going to be on the Cooligans.
Oh, the Fashionista show. In the third segment, we're going to go over all the games. We're going to talk about are MLS supporters too mean to each other? We're really going to get to the bottom of this, all right? And is there trash all over this podcast? Stop throwing trash on this podcast, everybody. All this and more today on the
Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah! What a show we have in store today.
This is a big one.
This is a big one.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, look, obviously you heard Simon Doonan is going to be on the show.
How crazy is that?
He's
a fashion icon. The third fashion icon to be on the show besides Christian and I. Isn't this crazy?
Okay, yeah, he was very envious of everything that we've done.
He walked in, he was like, okay.
In fashion. But yes, the show's going to be great. Welcome again to the show. Welcome to the Cooligans. This is not a fashion show. It's a soccer show. But you know what? Sometimes that's the worlds collide.
Worlds are colliding all over the place. Comedy and soccer, people said it would never work. It did. Comedy and fashion will never work. It never will. But soccer and fashion and comedy together.
That's what it was missing, the soccer part.
Yeah. Nah, you got to have a little athleticism in there.
So, yeah, we're going to have an absolute great time. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros.
And together, we are the Cooligans. We host the funniest soccer podcast and also the
gulliest soccer podcast in the damn world.
That's it. That's what. That's what soccer podcasts were missing all this time.
Bullet sounds, my guy.
Bullet sounds.
Well, bullet sounds just bing, 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 bing.
Just the threat of losing your own life while listening to a soccer podcast.
Hell yeah.
That's what it was missing.
It's like being a Millwall fan, which will be referenced later.
So. A lot has happened in soccer, but yes, I do want to just again point out, thank you again to, we have been getting a lot of new listeners, and thank you to all the people who have left reviews on our iTunes page.
How awesome is that?
So kind. I mean, it's like, it's interesting because there's some new people that it's like their first day, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to leave a review. These guys are really funny. And then the people that have been listening for like 3 years that are like,
we're finally
getting around.
We've only mentioned it every week for years, but now finally
they get into it. So thank you for that. Now we appreciate it, even though we tease you a bunch about it.
Are we shaming you into doing it? Absolutely.
Well, it's like basic. If you're having a good time, just leave that review while you're listening. You got nothing better to do.
Come on.
So. Like I said, a lot of fun stuff happened in soccer. But Alexis, how are you doing right now? How are you feeling? Because I know you were limping a little bit last week.
Limping, still a little bit of a limp until the tendon warms up. Something's going on with the Achilles. I don't know what it is. You're probably wondering, what did the doctor say? Didn't go, baby.
Living on the edge.
Who needs it? I got a heating pad. I got ice. That's it.
Oh, I'm glad you're going to be fine, according to Dr. Guerreros.
Hopefully. I actually have a doctor's appointment next week, and I'm going to focus more on this than the test, than the blood results, okay?
So I'm glad you're doing okay, or you're warming up a little bit. Just another quick update in Nebraska news.
Which we always talk about.
We always make sure.
We have a moment to talk about Nebraska.
We talk about Nebraska local news. It's a soccer show. But
Steve's drinking again.
Ralph, he borrowed the tractor too long, and nobody knows where he is.
Ralph.
How dare you, Ralph? But Bug Eaters, who we talked about last week, they're the UPSL team. I made an error. I said MPSL last week.
No, UPSL.
UPSL.
Buddy, we put all of our savings into sponsoring this team.
Club, yeah.
And you don't even know where they play?
I have no idea. I'm like, are they in the NWSL? I
mean, that's just how much guap we got.
Men are not allowed in the NWSL. Yeah. I don't know why we allowed that.
No, that's just how much guap we got. We're just out here throwing it around on sponsorships. We don't care where you play.
Bug Eaters, an amateur, a semi-pro team out in Nebraska, in Lincoln City, Nebraska, and fans of the show who are putting our logo, the Cooligans, soccer ball pizza logo, on their sleeve.
That's ridiculous. It's so amazing.
And they just put out a couple images of the kits are almost done. They're being designed. They're being printed. The forms, they sent us a nice photo. So those kits are going to be available pretty soon.
They're going to be so dope. And we're efforting now to get the owner of said team on the show.
That's right.
So hopefully we can bring that to you in June. That would be really dope.
So make sure you go to bugeatersfc.com and see the kits will be available soon. But if you want to catch a game, they're playing all over the country, so you might get an opportunity to go see them. So support soccer, support American soccer, and support local soccer. That's the best way to do it.
And if you go to one of their games, send us a photo with a player showing the logo on the sleeve. Or if you buy a jersey, send us a photo, tag us in it. Maybe we'll send you some stickers. Maybe you'll win a shirt from us.
Who knows?
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything.
And speaking of anything can happen, Wayne Rooney coming
Hey, well, we're not going to pay $17 million for you to take that photo.
Wayne Rooney, this is all over the news. This happened.
Everyone's talking about it.
This happened after we recorded our podcast last week.
Almost immediately after.
Yeah,
thanks again, news cycle.
How dare you? But Wayne Rooney all the news is suggesting, and last week it felt like a rumor. This week it feels like, all right, I think this is going to happen.
Spelled R-O-O-M-O-R.
A roomie?
A rumor. Rumor.
Okay. Okay. You know what?
Yeah. Why'd you even try? Whatever. I already ruined it. Why would you try to ruin it even more?
Just set this podcast to a screeching halt when we were doing just fine. Talking about Nebraska.
We were going at a pretty good. We talking about Nebraska. It was golden. We talking about a famous soccer player. Fire on the track.
Car crash. So Wayne Rooney, it felt like a rumor, but now it's like after report, and then the articles coming out of England are like, should Wayne Rooney go to DC United? Which is a different way. The headlines are a little different. It's not like is he or
or of course he is. Now it's should he?
Should he, or is this the right team for him to go to?
And how about this, England? Okay, do we even want Wayne Rooney?
And there's plenty of people who do not.
Okay, it ain't about whether you want to go or not.
Yeah, so it's looking like it's gonna happen. But overall, what was your first take on hearing this news?
What a dumb way to spend $17 million. The team wants you to go out. I mean, you made a big deal out of Paul Arriola. Go buy more players like that. Fill your 11 with a talent level that is young players with a talent level comparable to the best in MLS. No, you're going to take all that money and you're going to spend it on one over-the-hill guy who can't even start for Everton, no offense, but come on now.
Well, he does start for Everton.
Oh, boy, shouldn't. Sam Allardyce said he's basically not a starter anymore. Mm-hmm. The guy's got no legs. You're going to have him playing in the summer, and you know how English players love that. And you're going to have him playing in the sun, and you're going to have him playing against much faster, speedier, more athletic players. We have more athletic players in this league than I think in the Premier League because they focus more on that than in the technical part of the game. I just think this is going to be a lose-lose across the board. Zlatan Ibrahimovic turned out to be so far not that great of a deal. I mean, first game was amazing, but they've lost, 4 out of 5 now?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be the same.
I'm not going to blame Zlatan on those,
but he's not the magic bullet, you know what I mean? I don't think Wayne Rooney is going to be that big of a deal. Now, I could be wrong. I know it very rarely happens, but I could be wrong. He may come in. I don't think he's a midfielder. I think he's a forward. He may be able to sort of, ping the ball wide, and maybe defenders have to focus on him. I don't know. But just looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, this seems like a really dumb deal. It's an MLS 2.0 deal.
As far as a deal, a dumb deal financially, it feels bad. It feels like just a poor decision from DC United. But we did see Taylor Twellman have that rant in between I believe the Timbers Seattle Sounders game. He went nuts, and he was just like, absolutely just shitting on DC United for this decision. How the club is run. It was mentioning things that I think Pablo Mara, who we've had on the show, he MLS writer out of DC, covers DC United. He's covered DC United for a long time.
At MLSist.
Yes, and he mentioned how that the club is like that. There's multiple people doing multiple jobs, and I didn't realize and. I heard it, but until Taylor Twellman screamed it at me from the television, then I was like, hey, what's going on over in DC United? It seems like the foundation is wrong. Like, it's just dysfunctional.
Right.
So now it's looking like...
But they're also being sold, so I think one of the main owners is getting out of it. Tahir, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's completely out of it. Something's happening with the ownership there. So we should probably know these things and look it up before we start, but whatever. So it seems to me like we're sort of in that they're turning a corner. They got the new stadium. Things are going to start to fall into place now. I think.
I mean, is signing Wayne Rooney falling into place?
No, this is part of that dysfunction you were talking about. This is very clearly part of that dysfunction.
No, I mean, I think the way look, Zlatan got here. His salary says 1.5 million a year, but we know that he's on every Visa commercial. I'm like, something else.
He's doing just fine.
he's doing a little.
It's like LeBron made $90 million from Nike before he ever signed a contract. We're like, yeah, who cares what they pay him in the NBA?
So this feels like for DC United to pay this money to this player seems absolutely absurd. I mean, you can get a better player, a better younger player in like some Liga MX academy than getting Wayne Rooney and for much less money. So this doesn't seem if this doesn't sell tickets, which it probably should. Wayne Rooney has 17.2 million Twitter followers. I mean, he's basically
gave him a dollar a Twitter follower.
He's basically the dude is Lady Gaga of world football, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a huge name, and yes, the last 4 years hasn't been the same guy. We know that, but it's because he set the bar so damn high. Can he do what he did 4 years ago, which is just decent numbers in Major League Soccer? I think it's possible. Is it worth the money? No, but
you're not. You better not get decent numbers for 17 million. And look, some of these DPs ain't working out exactly the way you plan, right? Jesus Medina is not exactly working out the way we plan.
Sure,
but he also didn't cost $17 million. You come in here for $17 million, you better be lighting MLS on fire.
Sure. I mean, Ezekiel Barco, he's not getting paid that much. I mean, but the transfer fee that he, that he garnered.
I think it was 13 million. Yeah.
I think it was 15. So, but how great? That's a great example of even though he got hurt and he missed the first few games. Ezekiel Barco in Atlanta United. How great has he? I mean, he scored 3 goals in 3 games or 2 goals in 3 games, something like that. Just the pressure of that transfer fee, record fee for Major League Soccer, and then the results that he's bringing in. I mean, he's looking super comfortable. Playing
very much so,
playing there. So,
and I know, look, a lot of people are saying Thierry Henry was this age when he came in, right? David Villa was this age when he came in. Physically, those are two very different players. And I know Thierry Henry had kind of lost his legs a bit. He wasn't starting for Barcelona. Oh, you weren't starting for the best team in the world?
Oh, you were on the bench of the best team in the world?
Yeah.
So you might be all right, all right?
I think you'll be just fine. Champions League winning, you'll be all right.
Your skills are still probably up to par. You could probably kick about in the Sunday League, all right?
I don't know, maybe you could get a half in MLS if you just a bench player for Barcelona. All right, so look, players like that clearly still have some skill left in them. How long are you going to get out of, look, if this is just a marketing blitz for the new stadium and you think you're going to make that money back with season ticket sales, shirt sales, maybe some appearances for a lot of the Manchester United fans, which I'm sure there's a ton of them in that region, all right, you're doing fine. Business-wise, it's not a dumb deal. But if you only have X amount of money and you're tying up most of it in just Wayne Rooney, in 2018, you probably are making a mistake.
Yeah, and we both know most of that money is going to go to the hair transplant, just keeping it.
Just keep as it recedes back. Just keep plugging it in.
Keeping it tight.
Friction alopecia. Just heard about that. You guys will hear about that in a second.
traction alopecia.
What does that say? Friction.
But I mean,
hey, you don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing.
Friction alopecia, I think, is something when you lose your pubic hair.
Yeah. Baby, you don't know what's going on down there. I don't know what's going on there. How do you know what's going on down there?
So, yes, you'll hear about that a little bit more in the next segment.
All I have to say is, sexy old ladies, watch out if you live in the D.C. area. Because here comes Wayne Horny Rooney.
No, well, I mean, Wayne Rooney is he's a committed man. I don't think he's never been that like crazy. Is he like
the thing about him is that he likes to bang old ladies.
Interesting. I didn't hear this.
Plus, remember he just got caught in the car with the cocktail waitress that he was just being a gentleman and driving home.
All right. You know what? This is worth the $17 million in my opinion.
It's gonna be lit when he gets here. Oh, you know what we gotta do? We gotta get like hot old women like dressed in like.
Yo, you better
like
keep
leopard print.
Yo, stay away from Melania, dog, because
yeah. Uh-oh. Wayne gonna be all checking out the first lady. Wayne's gonna try to be best. We gotta get like sexy old ladies and sit them in the get them tickets for DC United games. See if Wayne Rooney turns.
Just in the front row. Just
leaves a note. Assistant, a ball boy is like, I'm supposed to give you this note, Grandma, with your tetas out.
Yeah,
with
just
tetas all over
all
the
these
place.
ladies giving Wayne Rooney butterscotch.
Yeah. You look
candies.
hungry, boy.
Rooney, did you eat anything, buddy? So
Skin and bones, Rooney.
So look, I don't know. Look, I'm an Everton fan. Wayne Rooney leaving Everton, could care less where he goes.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm glad he's gone. I don't know why they signed him to begin with. It seemed like
it's where he's from. He was a youth there. You know, it's nice to go home. Doesn't always work out. This is one of those situations.
Yeah, he didn't.
Tevez wanted to go back to Boca. You know, Messi says he wants to end his career at Newell's Old Boys.
Yeah, I think Rooney was a big reason why Everton had all the issues that they had. They had a poor start. I mean, he's not the same guy, and it was clearly evident there. But him coming to MLS feels a little bit look. I mean, it's just a retirement league thing again that we always got to kind of have to hear.
This is perpetuating that stereotype.
But this feels way more like. Yes, we were talking about the ages of the certain players, but David Villa just outran Lee Nguyen the other day. You know, even though Lee Nguyen I know he's not in,
he hasn't played in a year.
He hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, and he's 31. I mean, he's not the youngest guy either.
But Villa's 36, and to outrun him it's still no small feat.
If I outran a 31-year-old, I look back and go, did anyone push that guy's wheelchair? You know what I mean? That's the only way I'm winning.
So we'll see. I don't know exactly what to expect. It looks like it's going to happen. Hopefully, Audi Field is packed. Hopefully, just like Zlatan, wherever any road game LA Galaxy has, they
it's going to be big. Yeah, it's going to be big.
So that's.
But this is MLS 2.0.
Yes,
what we're looking at.
Without
right
a doubt.
Here.
Without
Get
a doubt.
the big older names, the kind of retirement league. They're going to sell tickets and shirts and blah 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 blah.
And DC United is they're bad. They're bad. Yeah. I just saw there was a clip on. We didn't talk about it a couple weeks ago, but there was a clip where. Who's the forward for DC United? Darren Maddox, right?
Yeah.
Darren Maddox got subbed in for this dude. Played for NYCFC. Or am I forgetting?
Mullins.
Patrick Mullins. So Mullins gets subbed off. He's sitting down. He's like, he doesn't want to leave the game. But then Darren Maddox scores. He scores after he gets subbed in, and everyone's cheering. The whole team is cheering. And Patrick Mullins is visibly angry that Darren Maddox scored.
Yeah. Because he's like, wait a minute.
My minutes! No, my minutes!
This isn't gonna go well for me at all. You guys are excited. I'm happy for you.
But yeah.
Clearly not a team player.
Very strange to see. Very strange to see.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Without, even when I make a good joke on the show, Alexis is like, Jim, it's
why do you do that?
How dare he?
Minutes. My microphone minutes.
So next up, let's talk about the 100th iteration of the match between the Timbers and the Sounders. Is it just called it's not called the Cascadia Derby. Is it called the Cascadia Derby?
No,
it's not. Because Cascadia is the entire region.
Cascadia is the region along with Vancouver.
Yeah, does that? I was trying to remember. Does it have a specific name?
The Northwest Classico.
I don't know. Well, that's not it. But I'm wondering.
You're clearly not it.
You are wrong.
Yeah.
But I just didn't
Don't
know
ever say that again.
if it had a specific name. But I haven't. There's no real name for it. Which is if Sounders fans, Timbers fans, please correct me if I am wrong. But
Right. And you know he's wrong. So just tell us what it is.
yeah. So. But the Portland Timbers again, we got a absolute applause to the digital team out in Portland.
Wow.
Because and there's always this rivalry has a lot of history, and the majority of those battles have happened on the pitch. But now these things, I mean, they're happening.
Bring it on.
They're happening on Twitter. They're happening.
This is a produced.
This is 2 movie studios.
Actors were hired. Voiceover people were hired.
This is like it's beautiful. First of all, it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, are these SAG? Is this union? I'm like, yo, we need to make sure all this stuff is above board. But the Portland Timbers made, if you haven't seen it, they made a video. They made a documentary about the Seattle Sounders Portland Timbers rivalry, and it wasn't just a objective.
It was like a mockumentary.
It was very much a mockumentary, but it was you wouldn't, if you were listening, if you were watching it muted, you would be like, this is a documentary about.
It was Ken Burns-esque.
It was
It was exactly in the tones of Ken Burns. I couldn't understand. There was the philosopher or the therapist. There was a character in there. His first name was Cole and last name was Umbia. So I was trying to figure out Colombia, what that has to do.
Okay, yeah, there were a lot of puns.
Yeah, there was a lot of puns. I couldn't figure out exactly what that has to do with anything. But they explained the rivalry in a way that if my wife were watching it or if someone else were watching it who doesn't know anything about soccer, they'd be entertained by it.
Yeah.
It was done amazingly. And I know we talk about this all the time, but we point back to the shooting star meme.
Yeah, which I think kind of set this into motion.
But remember, they got in trouble.
They did.
They got in trouble for that. And we were all like, no, this is what we want as fans. And look at this now. Now we've fully produced. Writers were hired, okay? Mm-hmm. This was
scripted.
Absolutely incredible.
Perfect, yeah. So I know sometimes our Sounders friends get frustrated when we give Timbers too much love. But this is, look, they're putting in that effort to make this rivalry even more engaging. And every time stuff like this happens, and we saw it last year with Darren Eales and putting the billboard out in Orlando, right? Whenever somebody does is just emboldened, right? And does something wildly disrespectful.
Just a little bit of balls.
The team seems to get behind it and play a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
which I think is a sign.
Which I think is a sign that everybody needs to be like just throwing swords at each other.
It's such a big sign that it should be a billboard, okay? And we want to give a shout out. I believe it was Kayla Knapp. She's the social content and strategy for Timbers and Thorns FC. I believe it was her. I know she has something to do with it. She's social content and strategy. If it was her or someone else in her department, Kayla, let us know. This is incredible. And I think every team, I'm not saying every team now has to go out and make
every team can't even afford to do it, right? Yeah. DC United cannot, they don't even know.
No, it'd be like on cell phones, you know what I mean? iPhone video.
They don't even know who's going to, you film it, all right, you also film, you're in the movie and you're also the audio, hold the boom mic.
It's selfie. It's all selfie.
So they'll have a tough time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone on NYCFC did this, Vieira would sit them for 8 weeks, and they would be kicked out of CFG.
And that says a lot about the sort of culture of the different clubs. You know, NYCFC is a little bit more documentary, serious style.
Yeah, they're more buttoned up.
Yes.
Stiff upper lip.
So, even, sometimes, we want, the fact that we got to take Tommy McNamara out for pizza, that was a big deal because it's not easy to get an NYCFC player to do even something that's kind of not super serious.
I'm like, can this person call and say hello? They're like, no, they're not allowed on the phone. God, no, I'm sorry.
No phone.
Sorry, they're not allowed on the phone.
So, look, so anytime things like that do happen within the league, we have to put a spotlight on it because it is rare. Yeah, some
teams are run like Handmaid's Tale. Other teams are a bit more loosey-goosey. This in particular, what I love about this is that it was like gentlemanly disrespectful to the other team. Yes. It was like a fun thing. It was something that even Seattle had to look at that and go, "Aye, that was well done."
Yeah,
that was well done.
It was
across the
very
board.
clever, and they were just the acting was just perfectly subtle.
Yeah.
Where it was, I forgot there was a woman in the documentary that was just talking about, when they playing games at Providence Park and playing in Portland and playing this game, and it's like, and then those poor Seattle Sounders fans, they have to drive back to Seattle.
Yeah.
Like just like
it was all well done.
That's just like kind of disgusted by all of that, but it's
Very well done.
And look, that's the kind of heat that we want from teams. These rivalries, and it's better than that kind of rhetoric is better than sort of what we're seeing from like Orlando and Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Where there's just like, oh my god, like. Speaking of Pablo Mara, right? He had put out a tweet of the top 5 most annoying fan bases, right? So we should.
And he shut the notifications off.
And he shut the So and this was funny only because like of how some people were offended that they were not on the list.
Yeah,
which is just to me. Beautiful, right? The fact that Atlanta.
This is what the fan bases want. They want to be known for something.
So the fact that Atlanta was not on this list and they win any listing, any poll.
Right.
Atlanta United always wins.
They are the Arsenal of MLS.
So, which is fine, which is great. We need that to be a part of the league. But this was so I'm trying to find the list and I can't find it. But here it is. Top 5 obnoxious MLS fan bases. Let's start with 5. Number 5, Montreal Impact.
Right. Which has recently dropped.
So this is according to Pablo Mara.
So this is his power rankings, but power rankings annoying fan bases.
This is at MLSist on Twitter. Number 4. So
Number 5 is Montreal, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe we're not as involved in.
I think it's because they're like very French.
The French seem on make
everything, even when they say hello, you're like, ugh.
But maybe
stop judging me.
Maybe French people. I feel like the French Canadian is a little different. They have a little bit more humility, like similar to Canadians.
Nah,
I don't know. That's how I feel.
Have you been to Quebec?
Yes, we went to the game to see.
Have you ever been to Quebec?
I've been there like 4 times.
You saw what they call a bagel, right? We did a video. This is ridiculous. They don't know what they're doing. So I agree that they're annoying.
A little bit of a surprise.
We love our Impact in Montreal.
A bit surprised to me that they were even on this top 5. But number 4, NYCFC.
Also recently dropped.
Number 4, NYCFC.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Yeah, there's a lot of
little rowdy,
rowdy,
little much sometimes online.
You know,
little They feel they deserve everything. That's a big NYCFC thing. Well, but we're NYC. We deserve to be the best at everything. I get that. I see that a lot in the fan base. So
and there's a lot of
maybe
like most New York sports fans, a lot of impatience, no tolerance for any even a slight sense of being mediocre in any way.
We're Knicks fans, okay? Trust me. A lot of experience being mediocre.
Hopefully they can't hear us on because they're right below us.
Yeah, that's right. Fix it already, will ya?
DC United, number 3, which
he's a DC United fan, and he upped them up. So DC looks like was 5th.
Yeah, and DC is clearly, and they have way more problems than any of these other clubs that
I don't know how they're an annoying fan base. They wish they had more of an annoying fan base.
They wish they had more people to be annoyed. Because they're having a lot of issues. Hopefully, Out of Field fixes some of these problems and revitalizes them, but they've had a lot of bad. The last 10 years have been really bad.
Been
for
tough.
DC United. Number 2, Seattle Sounders.
I see it.
I see it a little bit too.
The fans that love us.
And this
are great.
Look, we're basing these things on. We're comparing our experiences to this list, and this is like the people who engage with us on Twitter and Instagram and talk to us a bunch. So I see it a little bit from Seattle, but even
though they're like the warmest and most welcoming fan base I think we've ever experienced.
But when it comes to the footy,
but when you say something bad about Seattle, even if they said it themselves,
that's right.
They get the "How dare you?"
We only can say that.
Whoa! I make fun of my mom, not you, bro. That's kind of how they get.
Yes, very protective of each other, which is great to see. But look, we hung out with them at MLS Cup the last 2 years. All very kind people.
Kale, Kale was our videographer, and she sort of almost missed shaking or high-fiving Stephen Fry.
So this is not an indictment of who they are as people. This is
we love them,
and this is more on what I witness on not like how they treat other people's fans, because I think Seattle Sounders fans and Timbers fans have a very good. There's a healthy dialogue. Even if it's some banter, there's a healthy dialogue talking to each other.
Even when they call each other scum, they do it like it with a smile.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
it's sort of welcome. They understand that's part of it.
But I think there's a lot of vitriol among Sounders fans between each other.
Yeah, very much so.
That's what I see. That's where I see it more.
You know what it is? There's just too many of them. There's too many people in the stadium. You gotta bring it down a
Cut
notch.
it down a little bit, yeah.
Bring it down a notch. Number 1, Orlando.
Orlando City.
And by the way, fully agree.
So I think, look, I'm gonna say it only in the 2018 season. I think Orlando and Atlanta something has happened.
It has become a very serious.
We're
rivalry.
almost like they can probably be co-champions here with this obnoxious fan base.
I mean,
thing.
even just this weekend with throwing the garbage onto the field.
Yes.
I mean, there's such passion.
Yes.
And that same thing with Portland and Seattle. The passion is so real that when it comes back in a painful way, it turns the pain gets projected out.
I think a lot of this is growing pains. Both of these teams are very new, and look, even NYCFC, we talked about it 2 weeks ago against the Red Bulls. They were throwing shirts. They were throwing.
Well, that
shirts.
game hasn't happened yet, right? I blocked it out.
They were throwing shirts onto the NYCFC fans were throwing shirts onto the field. Some people were throwing cans, and we immediately condemned it. Even at the game, as soon as we saw anybody throw anything, if they even were a couple rows behind, we were like, "Yo, chill!" Like you were actually gonna hurt somebody.
It's cool because
the
it's like
shirts is
floats
like
down.
funny, and
but bottles and cups. And by the way, a lot of NYCFC fans were telling those dudes to chill.
Yes,
a lot of them,
and
most of them.
What was the score of the game? Wasn't it 2-1 against Orlando? Orlando against.
Yeah.
So that's
Atlanta.
not even like anything can happen.
But to let your biggest rival win in last minute fashion, it's kind of tough.
Of course, but
not like what we watched. We just watched our friend get stabbed 38 times over
an
hour.
Again, still anything can happen.
We were like NYCFC fans were like Rocky IV, but the Drago fans were like, you missed the spot. And we turned.
Whatever. The stuff that happens on the pitch is like whatever. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be annoying. And look, don't do it. I mean, we all know. Don't throw trash on the field. And look, and that's it. And it doesn't even really need to be talked about more than that. But there is, and not just like healthy banter. Like online, there is a real there's aggression. There's aggression.
I wouldn't say a hatred, but they despise each other a bit.
But it really did start. The billboard was it started things off on. It couldn't even start in a healthy place. It
was like Lexington and Concord. It was the shot heard around the world. That was what began everything.
We are fans of the billboard. I'm not saying that.
You're not impressed with my knowledge of American history just then? Lexington and Concord.
Not even.
Come on.
Oh, the one thing you remembered from like 9th grade.
I remembered something.
Proud of you, Alexis. You're getting a pat on the head real soon. I promise.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
But look, I just think there's and we've seen it on our timelines of like, and it's a weird position to be in. I guess like we're trying to do a fun comedy podcast, right? Where we have fans from every team, and we're seeing people who both listen to the Cooligans and be mean to each other.
Right.
And that is what bothers me a little bit.
Cooligans fans being mean to each other.
And it's like that in itself. I'm like, look, we can't tell you what to do or say. It's your life. But
I say bring it on more. Keep going, guys.
But it is a little surprising, just a little. It's a little bit. It should be a little funnier because I feel like
some people are just like, you're scum, you're trash.
Yeah, even Arsenal, even like Arsenal, Tottenham, like this very historic derbies and real rivalries that existed a long time.
Everton, Liverpool.
There's a little bit of
as one-sided as that one has.
Look, you can have banter, but there's always respect. There's always just respect for the other.
I don't know that that's exactly that way in England, though.
I don't know. I mean, there's at least some respect for. Like,
I think it's just that there's so much history that at some point you were the one who was the underdog.
Yeah, but I think there's a little bit of respect for like the person as like just a human being, right? Like not.
I know they stab each other out there. You forget.
I don't know.
We're Stone Island, for God's sakes.
I don't know if it's look. I like the passion from it, but I can only speak to how I process like a terrible loss or whatever. Like and if Rebels fans like make jokes or whatever, I'm like fine. Even sometimes when they like are very serious about it, I'm like, all right, like maybe I'm the wrong person to be saying this to because it's like it's not gonna affect me in any real way.
Right? Yeah.
It's
There's like one person in particular who like gets super serious when he talks to us, and we're like, okay.
All right, like if you feel better about it,
or like it sounds like it's banter, and if we banter back, it's just like I don't like you guys. We're like, all right. Well, that wasn't a great comeback, but have fun.
But you showed us.
Right.
So I don't know. Like,
got him.
I think a lot of people probably may not agree with me. Maybe they find it fun or whatever. But I think like, dude, this weekend. That game was a good game, but then the Will Johnson, the Muhammad El Munir dive, all these dives, like the memes,
dive is hilarious.
The memes, that's to me that's better than calling somebody garbage, an asshole or
Throw
whatever.
it instead of calling it.
Like
someone took a picture of the field with the debris and they put the Orlando starting 11 photo in it, like it was on the field.
Yeah,
and was like, "Hey guys, stop throwing your trash on the field." Like that. That's good banter.
That's great banter.
That's good banter.
I think that's
just calling everyone Orlando criminals. It's not the best.
Like to me, the fun should be in making fun of like the club, making fun of the players. Just the person in itself, just for supporting the team,
or something like the fans did. Like NYCFC fans had the banner upside down, so like people will make fun of them for that. Like things like that. It builds part of the history.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't take away from the entertainment of soccer Twitter.
No.
But hopefully it can be a little bit more creative than mean.
Yeah. More roast battle, less making fun of a kid in school.
So yeah. So a couple other things real quick, and then we'll get to our next segment. Sports betting. It is.
Yeah, baby. I suck at sports betting, but come on, I can't wait.
You were
point shaving.
I'm like, you were cheering. You were so happy about it. I'm like, does Alexis have any money to bet anything?
Here's 2 pennies. Here's what I'm talking about. Point shaving, right?
Okay.
The bracketeering. Like, this is all gonna start now. MLS is gonna get in the news, baby. These guys ain't making that much money. They are susceptible. All right.
Okay.
This is all gonna begin now. We got point shaving. We got throwing games.
You've talked about how much you're susceptible.
I'm waiting for it. You want me to throw this podcast, buddy? Put some money in my pocket. I'll take a dive. I'll take a dive right now.
Just bad joke after bad joke. I'm like, man, Alexis is being very different than usual.
I'm having a bad one. Email pops up and says, your Porsche, your Porsche with extra cushion seats available. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should close this very quick. Why would anyone want me to throw a podcast? I don't know. But if it's in your heart, if it's in your heart.
Please, if anybody will pay us to throw this podcast, we are quite interested in whatever this looks like.
Yeah, we'll make it look like an accident. Whatever you need.
Oh my God!
Where was Michael Cohen months ago? When did he not need us? Did he not need us to throw the podcast?
Sports betting has been
so the law in 1992 that made it illegal to bet on sports is gone.
Yes.
So that means states
in certain states, right? It was a federal law.
It was a federal law, but now states can develop their own regulations for it. So I know New Jersey is the first to say that they're going to try to get it going in all their casinos to try to get more activity in their casinos.
Yes, because they don't have sports betting even though there's gambling in New Jersey.
There's sports books, but it's like you gamble through Vegas.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So some people are concerned. Everybody, I think, in every sport is concerned that this is going to affect if there's going to be people, getting influence and throwing games.
MLS already put out a thing. So I think they said that although Major League Soccer is supportive of today's Supreme Court decision, we also believe that it is critical that state legislatures and other regulatory bodies work closely with the Professional Sports League in the United States to develop a regulatory framework to protect the integrity of each of our respective sports. We look forward to being a part of that process. Cool. Single entity, though, that's a little weird. How do you bet on a single entity? You know what I mean? That's like betting on your left arm versus your right arm. Kind of an issue.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that there's always that that's always in question.
Yeah.
But the main concern is that the players make very little money compared to the other athletes, so they are way more susceptible to taking a bribe, taking some money, to throw a game. Because it's like if you're getting $70K.
And somebody offers you $70K.
And somebody, you're like, all right.
Are you kidding me? I'll kick it in my own goal as many times as you want.
Look, I don't know. We've met a lot of players. I don't really get that sense that.
Yeah, no, we're not saying the players are going to throw games.
Yeah.
We're just saying if there's any player that has the same mentality that I have, it's coming, and it's going to come hard and fast.
Yes, they are. Those are the players you need to keep an eye on.
Find out any player that was born and raised in Newark. Start there. That kid is probably going to want to throw a game.
We hope it doesn't happen. We hope it doesn't happen in any sport. But
no,
it's just
it's gonna happen, and I can't wait to read about it.
Yeah, it's just because look, we saw what happened with Juventus, right? They were paying off referees. Is that what it was?
Friends of Juventus.
Friends of you. Who knows?
Little slush fund.
Look, I know.
Look, I didn't pay him. The guy standing to my right paid him. You know what I mean?
Okay, and he's only my half brother.
Yeah.
So I barely know the guy.
I didn't trust him. I don't even know why I invited him that day. I said, "What's that big envelope you have in your hand?" That has my fingerprints all over it.
MLS has been one of the leagues that has kind of avoided any of this stuff. But worldwide, this is a thing a lot of people worry about. MLS is a young league. When the players were making $22,000, I think it was probably a bigger.
Big worry.
A big worry, but how many people are really gambling on MLS games?
But MLS Cup 1999, right? Somebody knocks on your door and is like, "Hey, you're playing an MLS Cup." They're like $100,000 if you throw the game. They're like, "Of course."
Look, we don't want to cast that kind of.
You'll be taking photos like you just signed for a team. You're holding up envelopes. Are you kidding me? You'll have a scarf that says "corrupt." Are you kidding me?
What's all this merch? All this corruption merch.
You made this merch? Yeah.
Wow, you guys are really organized.
Yeah. I just joined Point Shaving FC. I like to let my fans know I finally made it.
So, look, it should be interesting. I think this is going to be a thing for every sport, and everybody kind of has to handle this properly. But I remember when we spoke to Juan Agudelo, remember when we had him on the show, before he was on, I think he emailed us or texted us and said, like, I'm busy.
We got a meeting about...
what was it he said exactly? He said, we have a meeting about...
I think it was point shaving, but there was a term.
It was a term. I forgot the term, but he just came from a meeting.
Let's see if I still have the text.
To not accept money,
but the way he said it sounded like they were preparing them on how to do it.
That's the thing. We were confused by the text. It sounded like he was saying.
Because we wrote back ha 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 because that was really funny. Because we thought, here we go, match fixing meeting, 1 p.m.
We were like, wait, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Why are you? I'm like, what
so
are the
guys, we want you to be professionals at match fixing.
What are the Revolution doing exactly?
He sent us a picture of the whiteboard. Guys, don't forget at 1 p.m. we're all going to learn how to match fix. Okay, it's very important.
Okay, this is a very important
part of your training. You got to be a professional.
So it is a thing that they are told about and to not do. So they're gonna get a slap on the wrist if they do it. They know. A couple other quick things. This is the only thing that stood out to me. Hamburg, a team in the Bundesliga.
No longer.
They got relegated to Bundesliga 2. And the fans had reacted pretty negatively to it because the Hamburg had been in.
They had like one of those tickers. It looked like the like in New York City they have like
how long
the deficit clock.
Yes, and they've been in the first division for I think 55 years, something like that.
Bundesliga for a long time.
And they hadn't been relegated. They've been.
They weren't the greatest.
They weren't the greatest.
They weren't the worst.
But they did get relegated this weekend.
And the fans threw flares in the field before the end of the match. Riot cops on horses.
Yes.
Cops on horseback. Are there always just cops on horseback at every game? Or what did they like? Where are all these horses?
I think Orlando City fans are seeing this and they're like, hey, we didn't do flares.
Yeah, I know. Well, Orlando needs janitors on horseback just to be walking around picking up all the garbage.
Those sticks just sweeping up from the horse.
Put it in the bag.
No, that's not a polo stick. That's a broom.
Yeah. It's that stick with the spear going through the end of it, like the needle, so they can pick stuff up.
But it's a thing that some people are using it as an example, which I think is also very silly. Some MLS fans were like, "You see, this is why we can't have relegation because look at what will happen."
Yeah,
kind of a dumb.
Fans will be upset.
Kind of a dumb argument, and also just another yeah, it's part of the game, right? In Germany.
Also, did we notice how full the stadium was for a match at the end of the season for a team that wasn't near the top?
Exactly.
All right. Let's slow down, everybody.
So, but it doesn't take away from, like, you got to compose yourself correctly.
Yeah, also,
right?
nobody got hurt. A couple of smoke bombs went on the field, a couple flares.
But anything happened. But it
looked like an amateur wrestling match, except there was horses.
The game hadn't ended yet, so I think they had to call the game. There was like a minute left.
That's such a big deal. They weren't winning the game. There was a minute left.
They were going to be relegated.
Stop bringing the people. Stop bringing the players out. Why don't we all just shake hands and go, yeah, we know that was enough. Just say it was 90.
All right. So let's get to our next segment, where we will be talking to Simon Doonan.
I can't believe we're gonna get to meet Simon Doonan.
If you don't know Simon Doonan, he's you've seen him on. Been on America's Next Top Model. He is the creative ambassador at Barney's New York. So all those gigantic, like gorgeous displays. He was okay. Yeah. So all those displays that you see at Barney's New York every season, he was responsible for them for like the last kind of like 25 years.
Right. We're going to be hanging out with him a little bit. Well, at least we're going to go see his talk. He's doing a talk at Kicking and Screening this year, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Great festival. You guys go check
and
that
also
out here in New York City.
we'll talk about it a little bit at the end of the show as well. Yeah. But we're going to be doing a giveaway for tickets to Kicking and Screening, which is next week in New York City from May 21st to 25th. Yeah. So you'll be able to get tickets and go to any movie screening that you want to go see.
And we'll both be at this one, so you should come to it. It'll be dope. And we're going to be talking to him about his book, Soccer Style, The Magic and Madness. It's all about fashion and soccer. It's pretty cool.
It's great.
We got some surprises set up for him. So we'll be right back with Simon Doonan right after this. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We got a little word from our sponsor.
Away Days Football is
so
back
dope
again, and so cool. A lot of people have been sending us the kits that they've picked up.
They're taking pictures. They're tagging us in it. Some of these things are really dope.
Gorgeous.
Some Nottingham Forest. We got Dinamo Zagreb.
Yes.
Yeah, some really, really cool ones that you don't normally find on the shelves.
So Away Days Football is a clothing brand, but they do something super cool. They have something called the mystery kit. They have the mystery kit and the mystery pack. So if you want to get you pick up a mystery kit, just the kit alone is $25.
$25. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's not gonna be one of the top ones.
Yeah.
It's gonna be not a lower level, but it could be anything. It could be a team from the 3rd division in Sweden. It could be a team from the top flight in Belgium. You never know. You know what I mean? We got some Anderlecht. Which Kenny Safe, is currently on there. Sasha Kleshin used to be there. Andy Nahar is currently there. A lot of Americans playing there. We've seen a bunch of really, really dope ones. By the way, if you use Cooligans as your promo code, you're gonna get 15% off. That brings it down to like 21 something. 21 something.
21 something is basically nothing.
Dude, that's nothing. And you get a jersey in your size. You just tell them what size. They're like, homie, I got you. Close your eyes. Watch them. I got you. I'm going to surprise you, my guy.
It's a nice little, treat yourself with a nice little surprise.
Why not? Dude, you know how hard it is to find a kit for $20-something anyway.
It's nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible.
So the kits are brand new. Again, they can be from clubs all over the world. So do that. If you support Away Days Football, you'll be supporting the Cooligans. Not only do they have the mystery kit, they have the mystery pack, they have other gear as well that's fly. So make sure you do that. So make sure you use the promo code Cooligans at awaydaysfootball.com and you will receive 15% off
on everything. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening. We want to bring in another word from another one of our sponsors, the Kicking and Screening Film Festival.
The Kicking and Screening Film Festival is happening May 22nd through 25th at the Scandinavia House in New York City.
Here in New York City. It's such a dope film festival. It's all soccer films, stuff that's hard to find. You can go, there's multiple days. You can go see multiple things. They got shorts. They got full features. They got it all. Plus, they got a couple cool talks. We just spoke to Simon Doonan. He's going to be there.
That's right.
Absolutely. We were there last year. It's such an awesome festival. We're going to be there this year just checking out some of the stuff.
It's super
really,
fun.
really cool.
So make sure you go to kickingandscreening.com if you want to get tickets. But right now,
if you want to win some tickets,
you can win some tickets through the Cooligans. We're gonna be giving away 4 tickets, 2 pairs, right? So you can go, you and your homie, you and your girl,
you and your dude, whatever you want.
Whatever you want to do.
You can take one of us.
You can feel free to do that as well.
Huh?
But we're gonna be. All you gotta do is just hit us up. You can email us at soccercooligans@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on Facebook. Just say, hey, I'd love some tickets to Kicking and Screening. I want to check out. You can
tweet at us, whatever you want,
and you can pick what show you want to go to. So there's a couple films being shown, and you can pick the one you want to go to. So
we're gonna randomly pick 2 winners out of all of those forms of communication. So reach out to us any way you can. If you happen to be in New York City next week and you want to go check out some of these films, I would suggest you do it. It's pretty cool, and you might get a chance to meet us. Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are. And
come on, Simon. He's the best.
Simon is just a legend, just a genius.
Yeah.
Like I like that we got to talk to him and also figure out, you know, like our fashion faux pas, you know, like
Too many.
There were a lot of things we said
After
wrong.
he left during the break, he was just like, by the way, don't ever.
I tried to make a joke and say that George Best wasn't attractive, and wow, I mean, I might.
I thought I was going to punch you in the face.
Just burned the like a flag or something. Burned the Irish
By the way,
flag.
everything you believe is wrong. That's what you said to him. That's what you said to him.
Forgive me. I was just teasing, but whatever.
And how about the fact that hey, he might be doing an MLS book.
Yo, we got to get.
You're welcome, MLS.
Maybe can we write the forward in that book?
The forward for all of our faux pas.
So thank you again, Simon Doonan, for being on the show. Absolutely, just awesome. Make sure you follow him. We didn't talk about it before, but make sure you follow him at Simon Doonan on Instagram. It's where he does everything. You can see all his work, and his book will be out very, very soon. So make sure you pick that up.
Yeah, it'll be dope.
Let's talk about Major League Soccer because we had a lot of games, and you know there were a couple. U.S. Open Cup began,
Yes,
and that almost got like muted by how many MLS games there were.
it feels like it was on purpose.
Some people are saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it's because of the World Cup.
Yeah, year. I think it's a World Cup year. They have to get more games in before the break because there's going to be a 2-week break once the World Cup begins. So you understand it, but it's difficult, obviously, when you know the U.S. Open Cup is you know there's already a lot of things they have going against it in that people don't know what's happening, right? So
that's part of it.
That's a big issue.
It's not broadcast anywhere. The guy who runs the official Twitter is just a guy who decided to talk about it. So there's a lot of things that are going on, but this is all again part of the character building.
Exactly. We're learning. Yeah. We're getting our we're taking our punches, but we're
Imagine
learning.
Las Vegas wins it.
Oh, that'd be great. And Chalice, who is like been suspended for almost I think the entire season. I think he got into some scuffle with one of the referees.
Him and his son fought somebody.
Yeah,
it's usually not a good sign.
So you're gonna get a little, like I said before, a little slap on the wrist if you fight somebody with your son.
You can only hang out with one of the llamas.
All these rules, I can't stand it.
I can't live my life this way.
First, I can't find anybody. Okay, so look, so let's go into a couple of the MLS games. There were a couple of Wednesday games that we wanted to talk about. Atlanta losing again, ending their win streak. They lose to Sporting Kansas City 2-0.
Which, by the way, we were making fun of Sporting Kansas City at the beginning of the season. This kind of puts them at the top of like a lot of power rankings, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not the highest ranked. They have 23 points versus Atlanta's 25. But to beat the one that's ahead of you for Supporter Shield, that's a big deal.
Yeah, they not only. Sporting Kansas City, we know like I was sort of concerned like offensively if they were gonna be that great, but when once Atlanta went down to 10 men, and we got to give credit where credit is due because we don't always speak too positively of the former NYCFC legend Kyrie Shelton.
What a great job getting kicked with studs in your ankle.
Great work, but he like legit. I mean, it could have been really serious.
He earned that.
Yeah, he got just absolutely raked.
Which, by the way, wouldn't you let him take that penalty?
It was the first. It would be for the first goal. No, it wasn't a penalty. It was outside the box. It was a red card.
Red card. But would you? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there was no penalty. There was no penalty in that game. But the answer is no. No one.
Yeah. Even if
no one.
Look, if you were him, I mean, you see, like, look over at Atlanta. You got Kratz. Doesn't even start, but he gets in for the free kick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you practice your free kicks? Be like, I got to give these guys something.
I don't know.
They're playing well, so it's like but we're saying he's bad.
Free kicks are a thing that like feel like you have to have been practicing them since you were like 9 years old because it's like
no,
how many players really can do it very well?
You think Kratz has been practicing them for that long?
Atlanta just did a video showcasing like how he trains and how he does them. But he speaks about the free kick like it's its own art, separate from the game.
It is. For
so
sure.
It sounded like, I mean, like he's like a sous chef and he's been doing this a long time.
Hero loves sushi. Kratz loves free kicks.
So
my son will never be good enough.
Kyrie came from. I mean, we talked about him a lot when he was at NYCFC. He played a lot of like different sports as a kid and then landed at soccer. So
you don't say.
But look. Good on him. That was a great touch, and he created that space to sort of be able to take that challenge. And Guzan couldn't.
And he's finally using his pace for good
instead of evil, as he
for good use. I guess is probably what I should have said.
But Guzan leaving the game. It's really that was like the big deal because the keeper that they had to replace him with
found him in concessions. I mean, no one knew who this guy was.
This kid, I think they literally plucked him out of USL like in the middle of
where's Alec Khan? Remember that guy was good?
Yeah, Alec Khan, who was I know dealing with an injury, and also the keeper that they signed from FC Cincinnati is also on the roster. And this what Paul Christensen I think was the signing that Atlanta United had to get a waiver to sign an extra player because they had so many injured keepers.
Yeah.
But this kid, I mean, very much he looked like a kid being like, what do I gotta do?
He reminded me like a long time ago. LA Galaxy played a game where their two keepers got injured. Josh Saunders was one of them, and I can't remember the other one. So they had. Amongst the team, the players were like, well, one of us has to do it.
Yeah.
And Mike McGee chose to do it.
Yes, I remember.
The shortest player.
There's a great video of this, yeah.
Shortest player on the team. I remember I was watching this game live, like, what? No, that's not the one you sent in there. Just go find a tall player and sub him in, you know? And he did a great job. I think it was Seattle. I believe it was Seattle. And they didn't score
nobody scored him,
Nobody scored him, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The jersey was, like, huge on him. He looked like a little kid wearing his... But the look on his face was like, all right.
Yeah.
You're about to be a keeper. You know, and that's kind of the look on this guy's face the entire match. He was like, oh, they're still coming?
Yeah. And for the most part, I think he was fine. I think that the nerves got to him a little bit because the goal from Daniel Shalhoub was an amazing goal. Stoppable, though.
Yeah.
If he was just a little bit better.
Guzan would have stopped that.
Yes. He looked like he was just kind of watching the game. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm still on the bench watching the game. I'm just warming up.
Well, this ball's coming close to me. Oh, my God, I got to stop this. Yeah.
Wait, why are you changing the scoreboard? Yeah. No, that's not how this works.
He was just like, that was good shot. Oh, this isn't...
Bravo.
This isn't practice?
It's almost like when... in the NBA, whenever somebody does a great play, and sometimes, you know, like the bench, it's a bench clearing, everybody sort of gets excited and stands up. But sometimes there's some plays that are so amazing that the opposing team goes nuts. Like
that was a good one.
Like no. But like sometimes like one guy on the opposing team will stand because the dunk was that crazy, but he's like, oh no, that wasn't my.
How dare you? Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Don't do that on that's my guy. Don't do that on him. But yeah, this game, this was a weird one only because the reaction to it from Atlanta United fans, where we saw the beginning of like they were on that win streak, right?
Do not lose at home.
But I honestly think the Atlanta United fans handled this loss worse than they did the 4-0 against Houston.
Well, that was beginning of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a bit of like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know, is this who we're going to be now, or is the first year over? Yeah. That was a bit of shock. This was like, this is not who we are.
Yeah, but what I do like about this season compared to the others, where, at least for me, and I think some of the newer teams, especially since the newer teams are playing so well, there's a feeling of like, we better not lose any games, which is crazy to feel that way for any MLS club.
No, but it reminds me of soccer everywhere else. You know, soccer everywhere else, because of a balanced schedule, you don't want to lose any games.
So part of it, that's what I'm saying.
Especially at home.
Where this hierarchy is starting to be built. Where like, where we know the top six, when who was it, like Arsenal or Chelsea? Arsenal didn't like get any points on the road this year. Right.
In 2018.
So that is, I mean, not only it's crazy, but like
it's embarrassing, but that's like revolutionary. Like
Yes.
there's a revolt that should happen in the fans. In fact, the manager should be fired. Oh, okay, good.
Okay,
good.
Sorry that part out.
I just got word from our producer. Yes, Banger is gone.
But we're starting to see there's a little bit of a expectation,
Right.
to
Also, no one's ever really seen Atlanta get punched in the mouth. Atlanta got sucker punched against Houston. It was the first game of the season.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen Atlanta really get punched.
What, I don't know if you would call this getting punched. I mean, it was a bad play.
The playoffs were probably the playoffs last year against Columbus.
I wouldn't even say they got punched, but they definitely got they got put in check.
Come on, scoring no goals at home.
It's not a punch. Oh, they also didn't give up.
It's getting punched in the face. That's like
they didn't give up any goals either. So.
This reminds me of like when Tyson fought Buster Douglas. You were like, oh, okay, you ain't unstoppable.
Okay, yeah. Are we seeing some weakness out of Atlanta United? I don't know.
So Atlanta United gonna get a face tattoo?
So it was interesting. I think, and surprisingly enough, we'll talk about the game against Orlando, but Brek No wasn't there, and they still got a victory, so that was a big deal. So, and also in this game, props to Tim Melia, because Tim Melia was a goddamn star in this game.
Tim Melia is a monster.
It was just like they should have had a Street Fighter. Kratz versus Melia, and
I thought that everyone kept showing the same play twice.
Nah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amelia was like, I know where you're gonna go. Kratz is like, all right, you know where I'm gonna go. I'm still gonna do it. And Amelia's like, all right, let's see if my hand can stop that ball. And it happened twice. I was surprised.
Props to Melia for getting there and stopping both of those free kicks. But how pinpoint accuracy and consistent is Kevin Kratz?
Homie needs to practice a different spot.
Most keepers wouldn't get that.
No. That's an incredible job.
He hits it with some real pace.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it wasn't just some easy grab for Tim Melia. He got to the ball, he stopped it, but he left like some pretty big rebounds. I mean, you see him scrambling like a maniac after he stops the ball.
Right.
But it's not easy to do what Melia did, and it's very much not easy to do what Kratz can do. That consistently.
Even the rebounds both went to the same exact spot too.
It's crazy.
It really does look like a mirror.
They just. I mean, it looked like a replay for both of them. So let's talk about the other Wednesday game, Toronto against Seattle, which is another good game. Seattle. Look, they like the bottom of the Western Conference. They're doing really bad, and a much needed win against the team that they lost the MLS Cup to, Toronto. So this game at BMO Field, Seattle wins this game 2-1. I think the cool thing to this game, I thought about this game, Magnus Wolf Ikram.
Such a great name.
Great game. Just three strong names,
Yeah.
It's not like, Sean William Scott or whatever.
Magnus. Wolf. Ikram.
It just sounds like three brands of guns.
Yeah. Well, you can pick whichever one you want. You can have the Wolf, you can have the Magnus, you can have the Ikram.
All will. Just don't let your kids near any of these.
Smith, Wesson, Magnus, Wolf, Ikram.
So look, the first goal by Will Bruin, really, Magnus Wolf Ikram is the reason it happened. But just a great
goal by the dancing bear,
Yeah, he basically, Ikram got the ball for Roldan, did a great first touch on
Megged.
It was a great first touch to get away from Bradley. Bradley ran over the ball, and then Marcus Delgado getting megged by Magnus, and then a great pass to Will Bruin.
It was almost stopped too. It was a little close to the other central defender. I can't remember the guy's name that was there at that moment, but little close, just about got to him. But Will Bruin sprinted like I've never seen him.
Needed this goal.
Yes.
Badly.
Yes.
Look, watching the Seattle games, I mean, like, it's just been frustrating. I know there's a lot of injuries. I know there's a lot of issues, but the Sounders, look, it's not like less people are showing up to the games, man. A lot of people expect a lot of that from them.
Yeah.
So it's good that They still lost the next game, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But at least they got 3 points that a lot of people probably didn't expect they could get at BMO Field. So
Jonathan Osorio did get one back in the 40th, but Handwalla Bawana.
I mean, next to Magnus Wolf Eikram, one of the best names in soccer.
Put both of those together. I mean, that is. It sounds like one of those like Florence and the Machine. You know, Magnus Wolf Eikram, Handwalla Bawana. You're like, yo,
on tour.
Yo, I'm gonna go see. I don't know how many bands that is though, but I'm gonna go see. It could be 1, it could be 7. I got no clue, but I want to go see it.
But yeah, I'm sure they're on the Warped Tour.
Yeah, yeah. It's like CMJ, the college music.
But a goal that he gets his first MLS goal, and we know his story, right? I forgot what country in Africa, but he had a tough upbringing.
Tough upbringing.
I know he's something about he had to walk. I think training had to walk like a couple miles every day. Each way.
Uphill, both ways. In the snow. Hard for Africa.
But look, he gets that first goal, but looked offside to me. I don't know how they allowed
Very much so.
Yeah, just clearly an offside goal.
But you don't take that away from Handwalla Bawana.
No, he earned it. But the thing that was funny was after the game, Greg Vanny complaining about VAR. You know, there were a bunch of issues with the video review where he's like, I don't even know why we have this and we're not going to use it because he looked offside to me. And in the press conference, he has the screenshot of him being offside and he's showing it to all the reporters.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I see it. Does the video review guy not see it?
Do y'all see this?
Okay, I mean,
he pulled a pet key.
Yeah.
The frickin' printer tray.
Yeah, I mean, he got the upgrade because in RSL, they don't got phones.
They don't got the phone.
They got StarTac still.
Yeah, they
so
still flip phones. It's kind of pixelated.
Really see it. So, but he did it on his iPhone. He's like, hey, look. He's like, I got the receipts. All right.
Yeah.
What is the video assistant referee doing?
Yeah.
But just another fun moment. But like, it does put it in question. I guess it wasn't clear and obvious. I don't know. I mean, I have no other reason. It looked clear to me, maybe not obvious, but it looked clear to me that his head was offside, and the defender that was closest to the touchline was ahead.
But people have talked about this. If it is one of those moments where or one of those situations where it could go either way, it should lean towards the goal scorer, like the offensive, just to make the game a bit more fun.
Yeah, he looked offside. And but
Toronto fans not agreeing right now.
Props to you, man.
Yeah.
He plays well. I always love watching him play. I think he has he's added a little bit of the style that Jovan Jones left with. You know, he can take guys one-on-one. So I like seeing that. So. Next up, Vancouver against Houston. This was the Friday game, first match of the Friday, the weekend games. This game ended 2-2, but really, there's nothing more important. This game was first half. One of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, I'm trying to, because we don't talk about Vancouver too much, and we definitely don't talk about the Dynamo almost at all on this podcast, and we're trying our best.
We act like we talk about Las Vegas more than we do Houston.
Because we have a couple Dynamo fans that listen, so apologies that we don't get to them too often, but
we're trying.
It's just like the
do something.
The storylines are not always the most entertaining, but this game, This game had really Brek Shea is man of the match, man of the year
for both teams.
For both teams, man of the year for the Cooligans podcast.
Wow.
This was a couple things, right? Game ended 2-2. It was 1-1 at the half. Jose Aja scores that goal. So I'm a little bit kind of like, I see, Podcasts, our friends, the Podcasts that do the only Vancouver Whitecaps podcast.
Yeah, officially, the only.
And so I'm a little bit like, all right, I want to see what Vancouver can do. They had a decent start to the year.
Right.
And then they just slammed on the brakes.
Skirt.
But, I think a lot of it had to do with Kai Kamara being out and being injured.
Right.
But now that he's back, there's a little bit more confidence to the team. So I'm trying to watch and trying to support a little bit. They are so dull. They are so boring.
Well, I mean, the style of play is just like, all right, guys, Who cares what we do when we get the ball? Send it to Kai. The rest of the time, stand in front of the goal, will you?
Vancouver, they have Kendall Watson, they have Kai Kamara, they have Jose Aja. They have strong defense. They have big center backs. They have tall dudes. So they a lot of crosses. They're not. Alphonso Davies is kind of like the only one that can really like turn on the afterburners and really go out. But he's not really set up to do anything like that on the team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're more fun on social media. Like on Kai Kamara posted a video of Alphonso Davies wearing Jordans with Adidas socks. He's like, you can't do that. Alphonso Davies realized, covered his ankles, and ran out of the room and hid behind the door so that it wouldn't be covered on social media. Fun. That's
crushing it.
Do that on the field. What you're doing and how you play soccer is so boring.
Yeah. So in Houston, not that they're not terrible to watch necessarily, but they have a more rigid system as well, but they're a little bit more entertaining. I like watching Elise and go.
This game should have been sponsored by Casper.
I've watched more Houston Dynamo games and been entertained than I have with Vancouver. But
for sure,
really, the most entertaining moment in this game was Brek Shea subbed in late in the game.
Dude, Jordi Reyna. I mean, practically falling on the floor. He cut back so hard, sends a perfect cross to a completely open men's national team, formerly men's national team, especially after this player, Stoke City player.
Yeah.
Brek Shea.
Brek Shea gets his ball.
This ball rolled up his leg and tickled his knee.
Reyna did everything necessary to just put it on a platter and gets the ball to Brek Shea. Brek Shea, look, again, he had just gotten in the game. Not that this is any excuse whatsoever.
It is. There is no excuse for what this is. This was one of the most atrocious. It went viral.
Oh yes, very much so.
And a lot of them MLS haters.
So when Brek Shea gets in there and this is the 83rd minute that he gets in, he could win the game for them. The game is 1-1. He could win the game for them. Vancouver, decent defense. They can probably hold on. Brek Shea gets his ball, and I don't even know. Look, and I'm not going to say, and speaking to that, because a lot of people, we have posted it, and I was just making a joke about I was more like, I felt bad. I was just like, Brek, no.
Yeah. Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that. Like, your pain is my pain.
Yeah. No, people took it like, no, Brek, no, get off the field.
People took it as, look at another example of why Major League Soccer is nothing and nobody should even watch a second of it.
But you know what? A lot of the podcasts, a lot of the Whitecaps fans reacted like, see? This is what our team spends money on.
Yeah.
And to some degree, they're right.
Yeah, and this was right after last week we had learned the MLS salary dump, right? And we learned that Brek Shea earned $700,000 a season.
He's making guap.
For those kind of results.
Yeah.
And the ball gets to him. If you didn't see it, you can. It's on our Instagram at Soccer Cooligans.
It is turf too. There's a weird bounces on turf, but they practice on that field. There's no excuses.
This is a home field. This is a home game. Yeah. You should be pretty comfy in this scenario. But the ball gets to him, and he's almost like since he just got in the game. I think part of it was like. No, like it's like in your head, you're like, no,
not yet.
This is not happening now.
It's too soon.
I wouldn't get a chance like this.
No.
Like,
maybe I should dummy this. What do you mean? There's no one besides the line behind me?
It looked like he got his feet like under him. He like went for the ball, but like kind of missed. He wasn't
sure if he wanted to pass it, shoot it, or just tap it in.
Tap it in, yeah.
And by the way, if he would have done any of those three, it would have scored.
Yeah, and it sort of, instead of kicking it, it just kind of rolled up his ankle.
Yeah.
And then
just kind of like trickled around.
Keeper Joe Willis is like, all right, this should be right.
Thank you, I guess.
So, there was like a bit of a scrum. The ball looks like it's about to go in.
It does look like it's about to go in.
And then the defender clears it out.
What I didn't like, though, is Brek Shea, and this is kind of what he's known for. After he whiffs and he realizes it, he kind of throws the entire weight of his body down on the keeper.
Yes.
So I guess to give someone else, but it's like knees and elbows right into this guy. I felt kind of bad. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, you're not playing in the NFL, dude.
But just embarrassing.
By the way, as far as I'm concerned, not the biggest whiff of the weekend.
What was the biggest whiff?
Latif Blessing.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call it a whiff, but it was a mishit.
Mishit?
More of a mishit.
He sent it back to the player who crossed it to him.
But he got a reasonable touch on the ball.
That's not a reasonable touch. I say that's a worse touch. If you didn't see it, it was almost a similar situation. Cross, Latif Blessing,
but the
ball
ball's
coming at him.
It was a harder ball.
Ball coming at him, perpendicular, parallel to the face of the goal. From the left side of the goal to the right side, Latif Blessing is standing in front of, literally standing in front of a completely open goal. He is legitimately standing in front of a goal with no one in front of him. And he hits the ball with his right foot. All he had to do was hold his foot up. It couldn't go anywhere besides in. Even if it went far to the left, it would have gone in. And this ball just goes right back in the direction it got cleared from. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
I thought Brek's was more embarrassing because of how slow the ball was going. But that's just me. That's my strong opinion.
And Latif Blessing was man of the match. I don't know how.
He was good. He was cutting up NYCFC every chance he got.
Come on, yo. You missed a winning goal, dog.
All right. Next up, Dallas against Los Angeles Galaxy. Galaxy still losing again.
Why are we talking about these two teams? We don't care about you. We don't care about Zlatan.
No. Dallas, I thought they played well. Urruti with an amazing... Beautiful goal. But Mauro Diaz, watching Mauro Diaz, I'm like, man... That's what Maxi Morales should be, right?
Yeah.
He's the same kind of player, but a little bit more strength. Not a little
bit tougher.
Yeah, not
Although
easily.
Maxi's a tough player because he gets beat up a lot, but he's a bit more physical.
But Mauro Diaz can get fouled and keep keep going for the advantage.
Yeah,
that's where they.
I agree.
But look, we talked about LA Galaxy's defensive woes. We're not going to get into that too much. Really, the thing that was absolutely amazing about this game was Zlatan's free kick towards the end of the game. Zlatan took a free kick that...
Let me start by saying that when I took the tour of LAFC, one of the first things I did when we were out on the pitch area, like the sidelines, they had a goalpost off to the side, and I went to do a video of me just sort of smacking it, and it hurt so hard. It was so hard. It is pure... It's not steel, but it's a very strong metal that it's made out of.
Maybe, I don't know what it is.
Whatever it is, it's huge, it's heavy, it's very thick and round. You know, people call it the woodwork, this and that. It's clearly not made out of wood anymore. These are like beams that could hold up a building, okay? And Zlatan's kick,
Zlatan's free kick,
was so hard that it rattled it in a way I don't think I've ever seen.
I think Zlatan's kick can stir up more 9/11 controversies about the steel beams, right?
Yeah.
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody kicked a soccer ball into it.
Maybe Zlatan was in building 7.
Maybe. I mean, he hit this ball so hard, the goalpost rattled. You see it in slow motion. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No. I mean, I've seen it move because you see the netting move.
Yes.
But I've never seen the actual...
The entire thing shift.
The frame of the... I mean, how badly put in the ground was that? It was shocking.
It was... I mean, when you see the shot from the
and
behind...
the sound.
When you see the shot from the goalkeeper cam, it is... There's no... Like, if he got a hand on this, he would have broken his hand.
Would have shattered his hand.
I've never seen a soccer ball kick that hard in my life.
No.
Honestly. It was surreal. So, we all talk about, does Zlatan have this? Does he have that? Like, is he still the same player?
Still got a cannon for a leg.
Still got a cannon for a leg that can be used. And, like, we see the grace and finesse of Giovinco and Kratz when they're free kick. Yeah. Zlatan is like, yo, I'm going to put this sawed-off shotgun down your mouth.
I dare you to jump at this. I dare you, Wall. Try to take this off the chest. He would have broken someone's sternum.
Yeah, it was incredible. But look, but now I think we're starting to hear a little bit of like, oh, was Zlatan a good signing? Was he the best idea for this team?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's definitely so many advantages. I mean, you see the second goal was a great touch that he stopped the ball that led to the goal for Emma Boateng. But LA Galaxy have so many issues. Now the question people are asking is Ziggy Schmidt going to even last the entire year?
Shouldn't.
And people don't think that's going to happen.
I think him and Bruce Arena should start a podcast from a deli. The two of them go.
Wow. Yeah, I think you'd be the only one tuning in.
Oh, my God.
Next up, Columbus.
I'll be their only Patreon.
Columbus against Chicago. Columbus wins this game 3-0. Great. They look great. And
Jesse Zardes.
But also,
He's learned. All you do is stand there, and they're going to hit it off your foot like the way a good pool hustler can hit it off the walls.
Yeah.
You just stand there, and somehow Higuain or one of the other players will find you and all you do is just stand there and let that ball hit your foot and go in the goal.
The takeaways from this, I thought Schweinsteiger not playing. He was left off the 18 because he had played 90 minutes in the 2 games, the midweek game and the weekend game. So getting a little rest. But the
coach was like, "Oh my God, your calves are so." Oh, that's just what they look like.
Okay. But Giassi's artist, Golden Boot leader currently. Amazing.
That sentence alone
feels weird. I feel like I have to edit this podcast afterwards.
What year is this podcast from?
But he's playing well. I mean, he's looking amazing. But the thing that was a shock to me, Mike Grella gets his start. Is Mike Grella back?
Yeah, he's back.
Mike Grella looked great, and we saw him.
What a perfect system for him too, man. Berhalter, yo. I know people are talking about like Vermees for men's national team coach. Berhalter. In less than a year, has just made Christian say the words, Giassi's artist, Golden Boot leader.
Yeah, it is
That's
crazy.
it. Done.
I mean, I don't know about men's national team, but whatever.
He deserves it. His system is amazing.
Okay. Well, Mike Grella, even at when he was at New York Red Bulls, always had a little bit of a flair. He has a
Grellaino.
Yeah, has a ability to like. You don't expect it from him.
He doesn't look like it.
But the dude, he got some skill. He got some techers, and he
learned a little something over at Leeds.
He can make you look silly. We saw him, when he megged Frank Lampard,
yeah.
and he's done it a couple times. A couple of NYCFC players that we've seen. But that dummy, that pass from Ricardo Clark to Mike Grella to Giassi Zardes. Did you ever think these 3 names would be the beginning of a sentence to be like, that was a great play between Ricardo Clark, Grella, and Giassi Zardes.
I never thought any of those words.
But they look great. And Columbus is like one of these low key teams. They're not trying to outflash anybody, but they do well, and they're like a consistent team that will be in the playoffs and will be a threat to the teams that are getting a lot of headlines, like Atlanta United, NYCFC, and the Red Bulls. So let's move on. Let's talk about Portland and Seattle. This game wasn't the most entertaining game in the world.
No, it was not.
Mostly a lot of fouls and
a lot of whistling.
It was that tackle from Jordi Delem that nearly demolished Diego Valeri's legs, but they were like, no, it's just yellow, no big deal.
And don't do that again.
There was a tackle also from Sebastian Blanco. That was seemed also pretty dangerous, but I think. Anything could happen. This game was like...
It was back and forth.
Yeah. And like they got...
It seemed like the first one to score was going to win.
Portland got the goal.
Sebastian Blanco scores, and he's kind of like looking for something.
Yes.
Do you notice that? I think he was trying to find like some type of mask or something to put on?
Yes, he was looking for the Chucky mask.
Okay.
And he put on the Chucky mask to celebrate the goal, which he was not... They brought this up on MLS Instant Replay. He was not given a yellow card.
He should have.
And he should have been. But he did get a yellow for the tackle that he did. So he should have been sent off, and he would have missed the next game.
Right.
So strange.
Teixeira was like, come on! Just shirtless. So come on.
I expected more of this game, especially after the video. After the Portland video, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be.
There was a lot of build up to it,
but it seems like we're sort of getting used to a lot of these derbies are between Portland and Seattle. They're kind of like this. They're like
a little lackluster,
just very defensive. Nobody wants to lose.
Yeah.
But Seattle got the short end of the stick in this one. So what are you gonna do? All right, next up, Orlando and Atlanta. All right, so this game brought in a lot of memes. There was a lot going on. We talked about it before.
We created one.
Yeah, I posted the thing about him.
I believe you mean we.
Yes, we. Of Will Johnson. After he was really angry, he looked like the baby mask that Daniel Tosh wears a lot on his show on Tosh.0, because he went nuts after that dive. But let's talk about the game itself. The penalty that Greg Garza drew, a little soft, but you understand once you put your hands like at the shoulder, neck, like
It was like, obviously, the moment you feel something as a soccer player right here, you should just fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Because especially in the
and
direction in
Greg
which it's
Garza,
going.
well, he was in Liga MX before, right?
Yeah.
Like he knows.
Come on, he knows what's
He
up.
knows what, like of all. Not
He's
that-
like, what, flopping? Is that what we doing, dog? I mean, I practiced.
I went to the LeBron school. Of
Are
flopping.
you kidding me right now? Reggie Miller was my instructor. I'm good, son.
I've been taught by the greats. So, but yeah, so he just the funny thing was the penalty that Joseph Martinez took was. I'm not a huge fan of the way he takes penalties. He does that bop step that takes away some of the power from his shot.
Right.
I don't know why he does it, but whatever. He makes them occasionally.
I think the point of it is that hop step at the end is to get them to
move.
see which way the goalkeeper is going to start to go.
Yeah. But the thing was that the interesting thing about this penalty kick was that if you see the freeze frame from behind Joseph Martinez, there is a woman who is lifting up her shirt and revealing her bra, just like in effort to distract Joseph Martinez while he's taking this shot.
There's two things happening. One guy's kind of doing like hand movements to try to be like, oh, this is really going to affect you as a professional.
And the other girl's
And
like,
then the other
yo,
girl's
look at these titties.
How about this? How about this? Yeah. You move your hands like a slow motion karate film. How about I just pull my titties out?
That's an interesting tactic. I don't know how common it is.
Did it work?
It did not work. And he shot.
So that means more women need to try this next match.
and just to point out, he shot the ball towards the titties.
Yeah.
So maybe it was more of a target than anything
Maybe the
else.
goalkeeper needs to look back and be like, all right, titties to the right. All right, this way.
That's where he's going.
Yeah.
But I think Orlando, just a team kind of outmatched here. Atlanta's just a very, very strong team. I thought Atlanta was going to kind of put more past them, but to Orlando's credit, they did. Defensively, they were okay.
And that was like the big issue was defensively. Orlando's looked pretty good going forward, not so great in the back.
Yes.
And they sort of fixed that against one of the harder teams to do that. But I think this is another one of those situations where like the bigger the rivalry, the more everyone shows up. This is one of those where like even if Orlando had lost the last 10, they were going to show up for this one.
Orlando needs to play Atlanta the next 18 remaining games or whatever's left.
That'd be fun to watch. Just over and over and over again.
But yeah, I think it was outside of the penalty, like that was the thing that was like made it.
We made more news.
It could have been a draw,
right?
Outside of the penalty, I thought Orlando. They played well. Justin Merrim gets the first goal of the season that he's been dying for. And
weird celebration where he just kind of like closes his ears. I guess he doesn't hear the boos, you know? Or if you boo him, I'm not going to hear the success, you know?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't love me at my, you can't have me at my.
But Merrim, we've talked about it before. He just doesn't look right on the team. I don't know. He just
he doesn't fit.
Playing the position that he's playing, he's playing on the left wing. He needs to be more in the central midfield. It's not really. Yeah. He needs to be where Sasha Kljestan is, to be honest. That's what I think. And the final game that we're going to talk about, LAFC against NYCFC.
Oh, boy.
A big, a lot of...
road draw. I mean, you took points in the road against a team that's, what, third game in their home stadium? Second game?
Yeah, something like that. No, I think it might have been like the fourth, if I'm not mistaken, because they had a long stretch.
Regardless, it was like it's a new thing for them, and it's just exciting.
And we were on Dudes in Blue the other day, yesterday's episode. So you can listen to it. It's an NYCFC podcast, and we went into it in a lot of detail. Yeah. But there was a lot of things that we talked about was just like
I talked a lot about finding a way to get Jones Brigette off the team.
I'm not as angry about Brigette, but
you should be.
I can see
forget about it.
I can see.
That's what forget about it.
That's what it says when you enter the Bronx.
Yeah.
The sign. But credit to LAFC. LAFC looks really good, man. They played a better possession game than NYCFC.
Also, Vela is dangerous in so many different ways. Will Johnson had to stand on his head at some parts. Just like even that little header that everyone kind of turned around thinking.
Johnson.
Sorry, Sean Johnson.
Like,
Will Johnson. Chip Chipperson really had to stand on his head. Everyone kind of like faded away from like the header Vela. It was just like falling back, little looping header. Everyone turned around like to go yell at the ref. Meanwhile, Sean Johnson was like, no, this might go in, and got a hand to it last minute. Will Johnson is a monster. Oh, God damn it. Sean Johnson is a monster.
Well, Will Johnson actually is a monster.
Yeah, well, he yells like one. Sean Johnson.
Yes, and he also has a domestic abuse charge. So.
Oh, boy. All right. Canadian, which is, that's hardcore for a Canadian.
But First goal was the penalty after the Atuesta handball. And then the Sebastian Biaga own goal. That was just unfortunate.
Those things happen.
Bad clearance. I mean, he got the start over Chanel.
Here's the thing. 4 goals were scored in this game. Were they all against NYCFC? No, then that's a pretty good game.
But, look, again, this dude, Omar Gaber.
Iraqi, not Iraqi, Egyptian. Yeah.
Great. I watched a couple LAFC games here and there. I don't know how much playing time he got necessarily.
I think he was injured when he first came in, so I think he's just starting to really...
Dude is fast.
He's great.
He was great.
But that's the Bob Bradley connection. You know, he managed the Egyptian national team, so he brought him in.
And then Ismail Tajiri-Shradi comes into this game.
Wonderful.
They're down 2-1. And
when he's in, all we do is win, 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 no matter what.
And impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
He looked great. And some people were questioning whether he should have started the match.
100%.
But he's coming off an injury. I think right or wrong decision. He's starting going forward.
Look, you put him in and he makes something happen. The exact opposite of Brek Shea.
Yeah, he is he tries to be as much not like Brek Shea as possible.
What wouldn't Brek Shea do? That's what we're gonna hand out. We're gonna have those bracelets.
But all good games. It was a good weekend of MLS. There were a lot of goals.
Very exciting.
A lot of goals scored. So I think that's it.
Yeah, World Cup stuff is coming out. Jack Wilshere didn't make it to the squad, neither did Joel Hart, so there's going to be a lot of exciting things happening there. We've got none to talk about for the men's national team here, unfortunately.
But we will. We're going to do a U.S. World Cup fan fiction.
Yeah. A lot of sex. How about Paulo Guerrero not making it for the Peruvian team for a little...
A little cocaine.
Yeah, a little cocaina.
He claims that he didn't do anything wrong, and he would never shame the Peruvian people. But I think it's almost very Peruvian to get caught for this.
Well, he got caught by the anti-doping agency. They should be called the anti-dope agency because who doesn't want you play? First of all, Maradona's like, I would have not had a career. There's a video online of him doing blow during a charity game.
With cocaine, let him in there. Who cares about
it's
cocaine?
Soccer. It helps you run.
Steroids.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're doing fine.
You're not doing HGH, buddy. Get out there.
You're not hurting anybody. A little bit of nose candy. All right. So that's it. That is the end of the show. Make sure you leave a review. Make sure on iTunes, leave 5 stars. It helps us out a lot. We're currently
say something nice. Put something nice in there.
We're currently at 142 reviews. It's the quest for 200.
200.
Trying to get there.
Can it happen? We believe in you.
Thank you for all of that. Anything else? Make sure you follow us on all social media at Soccer Cooligans, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. We're trying to get our Facebook numbers up. That's just facebook.com/Soccer Cooligans. And subscribe to our YouTube channel where we'll be doing more stuff there.
Oh, and some people mentioned who brought them to the show. We're going to read some of those if we can find them in our Twitter mentions again. Do hashtag Cooligans intro.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell us who brought you to the show, who introduced you to us.
Yeah.
And we'd love to thank them personally on this show.
Exactly. All right, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!